into Cleveland town, everyone. Under construction since 1868. See a river that catches on fire. It's so polluted that all our fish have AIDS. Don't go down in East Cleveland or you'll die. Our economy's based on LeBron James. Buy a house for the price of a VCR. Our main export is crippling depression. First, but at least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit! Things have been changing in Motown for years now. This plant right here. Now I drive past it, I only see 20 or 30 cars. It only takes 50 people to run that plant. You know how many it used to take? 3,000. So yeah, it's real scary. We invented the auto industry, the R&B. We gave some of the best things to this country alone. And just because we're down right now, that means our name has to go away? In the early 20th century, the so-called Great Migration brought 1.4 million African Americans to Midwest cities to meet the needs of the Industrial Revolution. None was more transformed than Detroit, which blossomed into our nation's fourth largest city. But social troubles began to brew, and a series of race riots led to white flight. Job loss overseas further decimated the city's economy, and then came the final blow last year, when major U.S. automakers collapsed, essentially vacating the Motor City. Today, Detroit is known best as the Murder City, with an estimated 1.5 million firearms in a city of under 1 million people. Now the nation's 20th in size and dropping. This reverse Great Migration of the 21st century has brought America's most prosperous city to its knees. And as Daniel Oken writes in Time magazine, September 24th, 2009, don't fool yourself. The ultimate fate of Detroit will be the fate of America if we do not begin to fight for our major cities. Using the Hasty Made Cleveland tourism video by Bishop Vids, Poetry Detroit Winter and Ode to Detroit by Eminem, Stand Up by Rooftop Comedy, the documentary The Death of Detroit, and entries from the Detroit City Beat blog, and a slightly dated 1963 promotional film from the Detroit Visitors Bureau. Frequently called the most cosmopolitan city of the Midwest. Detroit today stands at the threshold of a bright new future, one rich with the promise of fulfillment. Yes, Detroit is enjoying its finest hour. There's a renaissance, a rebirth in the city. Dear City Block, just wondering, is it safe for my son to attend Mumford High? Dear Burnt Bees, had a shooter once at that gas station on the corner of 6 Mile and Wyoming Kitty Corner. That's Greentown Burgers. Mumford's like a half mile from there. This one kid walked up behind the 15-year-old kid on his way to Mumford and blam, 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 6 times in the back. Not that big of a deal though. It wasn't like some random crime. The 15-year-old kid owed the other guy some money. But I mean, you know it depends. Of course you don't go past 8 Mile without some form of protection. When you're taking your son to school, don't stop at the red lights, run through. But yeah, I say it's a pretty safe part of town. You know you from Detroit when you run red lights in front of cops. You got a sharp-ass SUV and a fucked-up house. You think broken glass is pretty. Oh, your old car seats are your new living room furniture. This is Detroit's Brewster Center. This is where Joe Louis used to come out and box. Dinah Ross used to go there and put on little free concerts. You can look at it now and see how it's been torn down. Now these apartments right here, that was my home as a child. The city streets are bittersweet. I pound pavement while I'm kicking litter at my feet under the snow. The ground's blanket. These heavy hitter beats can be the sound arrangement towards my destination. Every footstep, a down payment. Now I'm walking as I head home, walking on my headphones, wrapped around my ears, my fears. Turn around, face them. Burn to the ground. The ancient ruins of a metropolis. Now the populace shrinking, inking deals to build as if the town's vacant. But every empty lot remaining, a profound statement. We call this right here the Murder Mac. Yeah, this McDonald's is one of the most notorious spots on Joy Road. A lot of shit, so to speak, goes down right here. I remember when the dudes popped out with their AKs. They actually chased us across the parking lot. But see, I ran that way, but he ran this way. When I came back to look for him, he was laying right here on this hump. It's a war out here. I'm from Detroit. Now I know you heard a lot of bad things about Detroit, but let me tell you, we are not the murder capital of the world anymore. That's right, we slipped. Oh, punk ass Gary, Indiana's the capital now, and that pissed me off. That's all right though. We got a good draft pick. See, next year we get somebody from Miami, and we'll get our title back. I used to rehab houses in Detroit. Driving down the streets of Detroit is like driving through what it would look like if the world ended. All the houses are in utter ruin. I remember seeing the movie I Am Legend and totally relating to how he would watch the sun go down. Detroit at night is like a freaking vampire movie. You have to get out before the sun sets or you're screwed. You know you from Detroit when you think burnt out buildings are beautiful. When you say you're from here and people get scared of you. You hate the city. Oh, but you'll beat the ass of anyone who disses it. You know you from Detroit when jokes about Detroit aren't funny anymore. Detroit, you took our country from its infancy into industry. A nation built on steel, muscle, and sweat. You became the city that carried the country. When you hurt, we hurt. Your bricks show our struggle through each house shutter, each factory closed. We can never turn our backs on you, Detroit, because we are you. My home, the home of Motown, Cadillac, and Joe Louis. You've moved us, you've built us, you've shaped us. Take strength in us, Detroit. Your people. You know, we're gonna keep struggling and try to get back. We're never gonna be on top again. That's done. But we just not gonna be counted out.
Nice job, D-Rod. 9:39. I almost would